Ukraine is witnessing a major rupture in its democratic journey as thousands took to the streets on July 23, 2025, to protest President Volodymyr Zelensky's controversial law that places two hallmark anti-corruption bodies, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau and Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, under the direct control of the Prosecutor General. These demonstrations mark the most significant domestic unrest since the war began in 2022, raising critical questions about the country's commitment to rule of law and European integration. For years, Zelensky was seen as a reformist leader, committed to eradicating the corruption that has long plagued Ukraine's political and economic systems. In 2023 and 2024, his administration earned praise for firing senior defense and infrastructure officials accused of embezzlement and wartime profiteering. High-profile raids were conducted against customs officers, tax officials, and regional governors. His government increased transparency in military procurement and accelerated digital governance reforms. However, that reformist image is now under strain. The newly signed law grants sweeping powers to the Prosecutor General, who is appointed by the President. It removes the functional independence of two cornerstone institutions, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, allowing top investigations to be reassigned or halted entirely. The government argues the move is necessary to root out suspected Russian infiltration within these agencies, citing recent arrests and SBU-led operations. In Kyiv, Lviv, Dnipro, Odessa, and other major cities, demonstrators flooded the streets, defying martial law restrictions, with placards demanding Zelensky veto the law and vowing, "We chose Europe, not autocracy." Protesters include war veterans, youth, women, and NGOs arguing the bill betrays the Maidan reforms and undermines accountability at a time when fighting corruption is vital for both morale and international support. International allies, notably the European Union, have roundly condemned the legislation. EU Enlargement Commissioner Marta Kos warned the law jeopardizes Ukraine's EU accession aspirations, while officials from France and Germany reinforced concerns this centralizes power and threatens Western aid. Domestically, the backlash cuts across traditional boundaries. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko criticized the law as using war conditions to weaken reformist agencies. Civil society activists who had kept a united front during wartime now view this as a violation of an implicit post-2022 social contract: prioritize unity and fight corruption. They fear Zelensky is consolidating power and compromising transparency. Zelensky, in response to mounting criticism, has pledged to draft revised legislation within 2 weeks to restore agency autonomy while reinforcing oversight against sabotage and corruption. The Prosecutor General and heads of NABU and SAPO reportedly have committed to cooperate on a joint action plan to address public concerns and preserve the integrity of investigations. The wave of protest coincides with a third round of Russia-Ukraine peace talks in Istanbul. Some analysts suggest the domestic crisis could overshadow international momentum and complicate Zelensky's ability to negotiate effectively. External actors, including the Kremlin, have seized upon the unrest to question Ukraine's governance. At a moment when Ukraine's future rests on solidarity, from frontline resilience to Western partnerships, Zelensky faces a pivotal test. Will he heed the voices demanding an independent accountability system, or opt for centralized control under the guise of national security? The path he chooses could either fortify the democratic gains of the Maidan era or unravel them, potentially reshaping the country's trajectory toward European integration and good governance. The coming days will reveal whether this legal pivot triggers reform or rollback.